Hello, 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 hello.
Hi there.
Let's see if we've got anyone here. If there's anyone here, maybe they can say hi in the chat. And are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, pues this is Ben and Marina, obviously, from Notes in Spanish. We're just going to see if we can see you guys in the
Okay.
chat. Oh, here we go. Charlie, what a message. Would you guys be speaking in Spanish? The more Spanish and less English, the better. Well, that's funny because we were going to start off talking about that because there will be lots of Spanish. And in fact, we're going to read some wonderful comments from you guys later on, which are written in Spanish. A lot of it will be in English, but we'll try and put as much Spanish as possible. But the reason is because here we've got beginners, we've got intermediate, we've got advanced. And if we fly off into high speed Spanish mode, then
We can lose.
it can be difficult
Yes.
if you're a beginner, and we want everybody to understand the things that we're talking about today. So we're going to have a mixture of everyone, of everything. So we got a message saying volume up, please. Can anyone else? Can everyone hear us okay? Maybe just let us know in the comments if you can hear us well, and we'll let you know why. This is the first time that we've ever done a YouTube live. Yes. Okay, fantastic,
Vale.
great.
Okay, great.
We are in the mountains. Estamos en las montañas, en los Pirineos. Y el internet a veces es un poco
flojo.
Así. Okay, so así, comme ci, comme ça. I don't know how to say that in English. If we get cut off, we will come back. If we can't come back, we'll send out an email, but we think everything will be fine. We did a whole Zoom yesterday for an hour with our inner circle members and nothing happened. So everything should be good. Okay. We had a question, ¿no? For the chat, first of all. ¿Cuál es la pregunta que queremos hacer a la gente?
La pregunta que algunos ya nos estáis contestando sin que os hayamos preguntado es ¿desde dónde os conectáis hoy? ¿Dónde estáis?
¿Dónde estáis? Tenemos a Franklin en Skipton.
Y a Diane en Boston.
Diane in Boston. So yeah, tell us.
Linda desde Estados Unidos no nos dice
sí.
dónde.
Judy from Connecticut. Fantastic.
Susan de Vermont.
And we've got from Texas here.
Alguien en Madrid, que no sé tu nombre
Cali
muy bien.
From Texas.
Granada, Alison en Granada.
Madrid, fantastic. Susan in Vermont. Else in Holland. My goodness, it's coming to Alison's in Granada.
Poland, we have
Gary's in Liverpool, Sacramento.
Svetlana en Poland también. Svetlana.
Cantabria, Minneapolis, Hertfordshire, Poland. I can't read that one. Sitges, of course, Sitges, Catalunya, fantastic. Canada.
Alex de Oxford, mira, como
Alex
tú.
de Oxford, yeah, como yo, Alex. ¿Qué parte de Oxford? ¿Dónde en Oxford? ¿En el centro o en un pueblo?
Craig en Yucatán, en Mérida, wow.
Yeah, Dunstable, California, Mérida, Yucatán. Well, I think Craig a lo mejor está ganando ahora en Yucatán. Sí.
Efraín en Finlandia, muy bien, nos encanta.
Chiclana, muy bien.
Suecia también.
Belfast, mira, muy bien.
Fantástico.
También. Bueno, Lisa, pues estoy alucinando, ¿eh? Yo creo que esto va bien.
Esto va muy bien.
O como se dice en español, pinta muy bien.
Pinta fenomenal.
Pinta fenomenal. Miren, nos están tirando besos o corazones, además. Es que, ¿qué más quiere uno?
Sí.
What more could one ask
for?
John, caminando in Madrid.
Virginia.
Good, great. Wild food. Yeah, sometimes we get the YouTube handle. So it says wild food is in Virginia, EEU, but
Carol in Oregon.
Carol, yeah. Jim Lowe, Distrito de los Lagos, Lake District. Madre mía. Bueno.
Impresionante, ¿no?
Antes hablamos, Marina y yo. ¿Tú crees que la gente va a venir? Will people come to this live thing, you know? And well, we had a good idea que la gente vendría, ¿no?
Muy bien, sí. Estonia, mira.
Estonia, madre mía.
Fantástico.
Ok,
Chicago.
Cambia de pregunta.
Sí, vamos a cambiar.
Bueno, podéis seguir contestando.
Va a quedar grabado, me preguntan
Linda,
por aquí.
Sí, va a quedar grabado.
Muy
Thomas,
bien.
en el Escorial.
Ah,
wow.
Mira, sí.
Thomas, ¿vives en el Escorial? Marina y yo, a París también. Wow. Marina y yo nos casamos en el Escorial.
Manchester,
We got
Scotland,
married in
sí,
el Escorial, yeah.
Filadelfia.
Philadelphia, Irlanda.
Ah.
Madre mía. Otra pregunta. ¿Has
Sí,
dicho ya?
sí. Queríamos preguntaros ahora, ¿cuánto tiempo lleváis aprendiendo español?
Yeah. How long have you been learning Spanish? ¿Cuánto tiempo? And if you're pro, you can say llevo 3 meses, 5 años, or you can just put the amount of time. ¿Cuánto tiempo lleváis aprendiendo español? Tenemos curiosidad. ¿Quién nos contesta? How long have you been learning Spanish? Henny from
¿Tú,
London.
Ben, cuánto?
Uf, pues en septiembre yo creo que van a ser 25 años.
Llevo 5 años, dice Lisa.
Ken,
Llevo
desde el 2008,
8 años.
Algunos años, 50 años, David. Wow, me ganas, pero por doble.
Desde el 2008, esos son 14 años que
Craig, 20
tiene
años, 20 años,
10
Deborah.
años.
Wow.
Demasiado tiempo para mi nivel.
Dice
Bueno.
Wildfruit, no me lo creo. Desde 1976.
John, llevo 3 años.
Wow.
Kate Poole.
Kate Poole.
20
Hola,
años.
Kate,
Hola,
20
Kate.
años. Kate, de nuestra Inner Circle está aquí, está muy
Sí.
bien. Gary feels like forever, but 3 years really. That's all right. 4 años casi. Va tan rápido
Sí.
que no podemos mencionar a
Llevo
todos.
55 años desde mis días en secundaria, dice Susan Paul.
Wow, Susan, yo creo que vas ganando. Bueno, no es un concurso, ¿no? Ok, llevo muchos años aprendiendo y todavía. Bueno, una última pregunta y luego vamos a empezar con los contenidos, ¿no?
Muy bien, sí.
La pregunta es, ¿una palabra o una frase favorita en español? Pero you have to keep it clean, no bad words, because YouTube might kick us off. So, a favorite word or phrase in Spanish, something that you love, algo que te encanta. A ver, como yo, tiquismiquis, no tiquismiquis, a sort of a picky person. That's one of my favorite words. And my kids call me tiquismiquis. Papá, eres un tiquismiquis.
Vale. Carcajada.
Carcajada, which is like a lovely laugh, ¿no?
Me pongo loco.
La penúltima, that's the famous last but one drink, que nunca es la penúltima.
Tim dice cantamañanas, esa es una de mis favoritas.
Sí, cantamañanas. We'll get back to that in a minute. What is it? No te rindas nunca.
Pues
Okay,
nada.
never give up. Muy bien.
Que es muy nuestro, pues nada.
Pues nada, sí. Boludo. A ver. I got to write a couple of these down so we come back to them. Cantamañanas and boludo. I mean, they're all fantastic. Cantamañanas.
Guacala, yo necesito unas gafas.
Boludo.
Una caña, por favor.
Marina needs some glasses. Oh, I thought I had a spare pair. Here we are, look.
Mi media naranja.
Mi media naranja.
Es la primera vez que me pongo gafas, pero si no los
a
leo
otro
bien.
pero con ese hueso.
Esa no la había oído.
No, muy interesante.
No ni nada, andaluz.
No ni nada.
Esta la aprendimos hace poco, Ben y yo. No ni nada.
Yeah, me gusta cucaracha. Cockroach from Sharon. It's a beautiful word, cucaracha.
Estoy sudando como un pollo, comparte Catherine.
Muy bien. Chachi peruli. Eso sí que me gusta, chachi peruli. A ver, me gustan todas.
Me pone como un flan.
Sí. Por
fenomenal.
Supuesto,
yo iba a decir fenomenal, pero digo...
Está todo fenomenal, sí.
Sol y sombra, por favor. Refunfuñar.
Refunfuñar. Oye, Marina, tenemos que hacer esto en vivo más a menudo.
Sí.
Nos hacen todo el trabajo, mira. You guys, it's fantastic. Normally we're like, which real Spanish words should we share this week?
Today,
and we have to think a bit. And
estoy flipando en colores, me
we've got
encanta.
100,
sí.
yeah, estoy flipando en colores. Yo estoy flipando en colores.
El mundo es un pañuelo.
Con esto.
Y sigue, si quieres, y dice, ¿y tú el moco que más quiero?
¿El qué? El mundo es un pañuelo y tú
el moco que más quiero.
So the world is a handkerchief, meaning it's a small world, and you're the
bogey
that I most love. Well, thank you, Marina, for lowering the tone, bajando el nivel.
Bueno, os quería compartir algo así como muy universal.
Sí.
Me viene como anillo al dedo.
Eso es muy bien, sí. El mundo es un pañuelo, pues sí. Oye, keep them coming because this is incredible. I want to go back to a couple. As I said, we'll talk a bit in English, a lot in Spanish, but just to make sure everyone's on the same page. What is a cantamañanas, Marina? let's go back to a couple of these I want to pick out.
Cantamañanas. Bueno, pues alguien... Me tengo que quitar las gafas. ¡Qué mareo! Alguien que habla mucho y que se las da de una persona muy válida. Habla mucho, pero en la realidad hace poco.
Someone who talks a big talk, but is a bit useless, no? Is that a bit like mucho ruido, pocas nueces?
Sí,
a lot of noise, but not much
pero
walnuts.
mucho ruido y pocas nueces.
It's a lot of fluster and bluster.
Sí, es más poético, puede ser más suave, más sutil,
Vale.
más como algo de jugueteo o coqueteo. Y un cantamañanas es muy despectivo.
Okay, so mucho
Ese
ruido,
tipo
pocas...
es un cantamañanas.
Yeah, it's very rude.
Es muy rude. Y mucho ruido y pocas nueces lo puedes decir como algo...
A bit softer, a bit almost jokily, ¿no?
Sí, sí,
okay.
Exacto.
All right, so cool. Two fantastic ones.
Teníamos más, espera,
no,
que...
aquí boludo. Quería
sí,
saber.
qué elegancia la de Francia. Y habla por los codos.
Habla
también.
con los codos. The codo, the elbow, habla por los codos, to talk non-stop. Wonderful one.
Boludo.
Boludo?
Esto es argentino.
What is it?
Boludo, claro, yo no tengo el matiz completo. Boludo lo utilizan un poco como...
Maybe, I can't remember who said boludo, could explain what it means in the chat. A very, if they have a one-word answer. If not, don't worry, no pressure.
Creo que a veces puede ser despectivo, pero a veces es como colegueo. ¿Vale? O sea, yo creo que boludo, no seas boludo. Lo he oído mucho usar a los argentinos, pero no tengo como el...
Del dicho al hecho hay mucho trecho.
Hay un buen trecho.
By the way, okay, boludo, we will come back to another day.
Y si no puedo conectarme a la RAE y mirar.
We will come back to it another day because if we start looking stuff up, we might lose YouTube or something like that. A great one here, el saladero, meaning when the bottom of your arm is loose and flabby. Did you know that one? Flabby is like...
el saladero.
El saladero,
no sabía.
Got a bit of extra here.
Aquí, que mi hija me lo dijo hace poco.
My
Mamá,
goodness.
Tienes esto blando.
Okay, Gary says boludo is a bit like dude.
¿Ves? A veces es como colegueo. Yo lo he... Pero también creo que a veces puede ser usado despectivamente. No seas boludo, como no me molestes, no seas pesado.
Lisa says she learned it at Pilates, so yeah, it probably is, that's the saladero. Okay.
Vale.
Refunfuñar.
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 Sí.
What does it mean?
Como quejarte.
Complain.
Insisting.
Being a pain in the neck.
Yeah, it's like grumpy. Complaining, grumpy.
So what would you say? Deja de refunfuñar.
Deja de refunfuñar ya.
Stop complaining. Okay. Chachi Peruli, we have a good friend. He's a doctor, a respectable kind of a guy, and he loves the word chachi peruli. I learned that from him. Jorge.
Okay. Yes.
And when he thinks something is really cool and really good, he says chachi peruli. It's a lovely word, chachi peruli. And one more that I picked out here was estoy flipando en colores.
Sí.
So flipando, I'm flipping in colors. Estoy flipando en colores.
Pero estoy flipando
what does it mean, first of all?
Solo sin colores. Estoy flipando expresas sorpresa.
I can't believe it.
Que puede ser positiva o negativa.
Yeah.
¿Vale? Y en colores es que estás muy sorprendido.
Double. So it could be because you just heard some unbelievable piece of shocking gossip.
Sí.
No? Or it could be like how happy we are to see so many people here chatting away in the chat and answering our questions. So yeah, estamos flipando en colores. Y
flipando en colores puede tener una connotación un poco de...
Bueno, I don't know what you're trying to say. I'm looking here at a great one in the chat. I think Marina's treading delicate ground over here.
De hacerse un viaje de otro tipo.
Flipando en colores is like some drug experience.
Exacto.
Like that. Okay, we can say that.
Vale.
It's okay. Vale.
Ay, como me has dicho, keep it clean, me daba miedo.
That's okay. We've got hace changuitos.
Cruzando los dedos en México.
Hace changuitos.
No lo sabía esto, no lo había oído.
Thank you, Henny.
Mira, berrinche.
¿Berrinche? ¿Qué es berrinche?
Pues un berrinche, cogerse un berrinche es cuando te pones a llorar un niño. Se coge un berrinche.
Like, yeah. when a kid has a total crying fit or freak out or
A tantrum,
a
yeah.
tantrum. Look at that. I couldn't think of the word in English. A tantrum. Un berrinche.
Mira, tenemos a Mav desde Angola.
Yeah, fantastic. And we've got, he oído la palabra
Chapucero.
chapucero.
Mm,
Great word.
esa es una palabra muy española, tengo que decir.
Hacer chapuzas can mean two things, no? Hacer chapuzas en casa means do some DIY.
Exactly.
Fix a plug, fix the tap, put up a shelf, no? Pero hacer una chapuza means to do something badly.
Sí, hacer un trabajo a medias, ¿no?
Yeah, to
Como
kind of like-
sin calidad.
Yeah, sort of like, you do your homework, but you do it the kid does the homework, but just as fast as possible to get it out of the way. And the mother says, eso es una chapuza, tienes que hacerlo de nuevo. ¿Vale? Or to our son, she says that. Okay, but what is, so un chapucero is somebody who does lots of,
Claro, un
puts up shelves
chapuzas,
or does lots of
un chapuzas
shoddy work?
podrías decir de una persona que hace arreglos.
Vale.
Y un chapucero es una persona que no se esfuerza, que no da calidad al trabajo.
Yeah.
¿Vale?
Okay.
Se me ha ido el santo al cielo.
Yes, that's when you, se me ha ido el santo al cielo is when you can't remember something, no?
Sí,
It's
como
on
te
the-
despistas.
It's on the tip of my tongue, is it that?
No. Se me ha
no,
ido el
it's-
santo al cielo, es
It's,
como que mi atención se ha ido.
yeah, you've
El-
gone off into your own world. Yeah,
Mm.
okay, we can't do that now.
Hay
Like-
varias como esta, porque hay otra, déjame que la pienso, luego os la digo.
Okay, Marina's off to the santo en el cielo for a bit while she
Mm.
thinks. So I think, look, this-
Estar en las batuecas, esa era la que
estar
quería.
en las batuecas.
Batuecas.
Wow, I never heard that. I like it. Okay. I don't think we've ever had so much real Spanish in any of our episodes ever. So it's wonderful to hear from all of you guys. Okay. Amazing phrases. So let's start a little bit with these secrets. No,
Vale,
we said we've got
okay.
3 secrets, and we said they're very simple, but I think they're incredibly powerful. No, entonces 3 secretos para avanzar con el español y la fluidez. No, and afterwards we can have some questions. If hopefully we have time, we've got about an hour in total if we need it. So secret number 1, Marina, what is it?
Muy bien,
El
es
secreto número 1 es para la fluidez. Fluent secret number 1 for today.
disfrútalo. Enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Yeah. El disfrute da la motivación, ¿no?
Ujú.
Y la motivación hace que aprendes más y disfrutas más. Y otra vez es un círculo no vicioso, un círculo, I said in English, a vicious circle. The other one is a virtuous circle. Un círculo virtuoso.
Si no lo había yo.
So what does this mean? It's very easy to say
Oído.
enjoy learning Spanish. No,
Mhm.
but let's have some examples. Okay, so for example, not enjoying learning Spanish is using some materials that you find a bit boring, but thinking I've started, I can't stop, and I'm going to flagellate myself on the back until I finish them. Eso no vale.
No,
Eso no vale.
si hay mucho sufrimiento, Ben te diría que lo tires.
Que cambies algo, ¿no?
Y yo te diría que, hombre, que en algún momento a lo mejor a la gramática hay que darle un poquito de atención, pues
Sí.
pequeñas cápsulas.
Sí. Os voy a dar otro ejemplo, ¿no? A lo mejor, si te gusta ver series en español en Netflix, pues ve muchas series. Si te gusta leer libros o revistas o ver Instagram en español,
Por ejemplo,
hazlo mucho.
hace poco alguien nos compartió que le encantaba ver MasterChef en español.
Masterchef,
Más de una persona nos ha
Masterchef in
compartido
Spanish.
esto.
Si te gusta, vas a aprender más
Y
a
de
largo
hecho
plazo.
nos comentó que veía MasterChef americano, MasterChef inglés, MasterChef español
Sí.
y las diferencias culturales, ¿no?
Sí, sí.
que había.
Oye, otro ejemplo, alinear tu español con tus intereses, ¿no? Tenemos aquí un ejemplo buenísimo que ayer, y ahora voy a repetir en inglés porque es importante. Ayer tuvimos un Zoom con los miembros del Inner Circle y uno de los miembros, Kate, que está aquí hoy, es fan de un equipo de béisbol.
Que se llama Minnesota Twins.
The Minnesota Twins.
Creo, recordar. A ver si no me...
Sí, Kate es así.
Kate,
nos
por
tienes que
favor,
decir.
confírmame.
Y en el chat, dinos. Entonces, los Minnesota Twins, ella ha encontrado una estación de radio en español, sí, dice Kate, que habla en español sobre los Minnesota Twins. ¡Qué manera más fantástica! Okay, so Kate told us yesterday in our inner circle Zoom call that she's a fan of the Minnesota Twins baseball team, and she's found a Minnesota Twins radio station in Spanish to listen to. So
Aquí tenemos otra fan
it's
de
brilliant.
los Twins de
I
Minnesota.
can't believe it.
Kathy.
Go Twins, says Kathy MN, which must be in Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Fantastic. There you go. So, Lauren, me gusta MasterChef España. Entonces, a question in the chat. What is it that you do that you love doing in Spanish? It could be watching series. Tell us the name of the series on Netflix or wherever. It could be a book that you read. It could. What activity do you do? Do you listen to something or read something around one of your interests? Tell us quickly in the chat what you do to make learning Spanish enjoyable. Let's see if anyone's got. Well, we've got Lauren who says me gusta MasterChef España. Fantástico. ¿Quién más? ¿Alguien más?
Vamos a darles tiempo.
Just chatting with someone, says Michael. That's the best thing possible. Ay, soy Georgina in Netflix. Soy Georgina? That's the wife of Ronaldo, no? I think.
Ah, vale, puede ser.
I think so, yeah.
No había
I
caído.
think so.
Vale.
El vecino en Netflix, escucha podcasts y ve vídeos de YouTube, muy bien. La casa en Mango Street en español, no conozco eso. Drag Race España, sounds great. I'm going to see that. Hola, Ana. Mira, está Ana aquí también del Inner Circle. Me encanta ver serie que se llama Enamorándonos. Fantastic. Canto con un coro aquí y todos los ensayos son en castellano. Lisa is singing in a Catalan and Castellano Spanish choir.
Me encanta, Lisa, me encanta. Ben y yo participamos en un coro hace años y fue una experiencia fantástica.
Y hemos cantado en castellano y catalán.
Sí.
La noche de Noire se llamaba
un villancico.
El villancico en catalán, sí. Leon Marca, fantastic.
Sí, y Mark también, de Football Pages en Instagram.
Okay, well, I follow Football Page on Instagram. Escucho RTVE podcasts. Massive Trekkie fan. So I'm making. Soy músico y me gusta leer sobre música y la guitarra.
Fantástico también.
Eso es, Henny. Entre otras cosas, me gusta escuchar meditaciones
guiadas en español.
Muy bien.
Me encanta.
Guided meditations in Spanish. Relax and learn at the same time.
Sí, seguro que en estado de relajación se aprende más fácilmente.
Entra más, sí. Ando mucho.
Los bichos.
Los bichos. Leo.
Me encanta.
Disfrutar música.
Sergio Dalma.
Sí. Hacer rompecabezas, muy bien. Otros vídeos de cocina en español en Instagram y YouTube.
Bien,
Lauren, fantástico.
Muy bien, sí.
¿Qué más? Mira, La Reina del Sur. Chef's Table tiene muchos programas de chefs hispanohablantes, muy bien. Fogones tradicionales. Watch Rick Stein comiendo comida española.
Muy bien.
Muy bien. Y nada. Vuestro podcast son una maravilla. Gracias, May. Yo sigo canales de fitness, following fitness channels en YouTube.
Cocina en YouTube también. La música me ayuda mucho.
La música, okay.
Wow.
I think
soy de Escocia.
The secret one might be redundant because it looks like you all know it, but I mean, if there was ever better proof, this is it.
Bueno, me encanta que la gente comparta así cosas tan variadas porque también da inspiración, ¿no? A coger otras fuentes, ¿no?
Sí, no, fantástico, me encanta. I think vivir sin permiso en Netflix, películas dobladas en español están más fácil. Sí, es
vale,
verdad.
Esto es...
Look, someone's saying that to watch a film that has been dubbed into Spanish from the English is easier than watching an original Spanish one. That's fantastic. One of our people we've known for years, I know it's in Spanish, Gary, a good friend, always recommends reading detective novels or policíacas, police books, for example, or whatever you like, that have been translated into Spanish from English because it's easier. I've done that. I read a Dan Brown novel years ago that had been translated into Spanish and it was a bit easier and it was, I learned so much. So yeah, perfect. Okay. Kate Poole, me mola escuchar Harry Potter en español, el fútbol en español, Stephen. So graphic novels, Svetlana. Well, fantastic. Oye, que mi limpiadora española, muy bien, de Jaén, practico con ella. Fantastic. Mandy.
Muy bien.
Great.
Pues en Jaén tienen un acento.
Sí, Jaén has a very strong accent. So if you're practicing with her or him,
Sí,
her,
es muy
fantastic.
peculiar. Yo tengo
Yeah.
una muy buena amiga de Jaén y ahora cuando escucho a alguien de Jaén es que me doy la vuelta porque es muy
I love it. I
particular,
love
sí.
that accent. Okay, vamos al secreto número 2.
Venga.
Bueno, we can come back to this, but
Sí.
so we have time for some questions later. Secret number 2. Secret number 1 is deceptively easy, I think. Enjoy what you're doing and find things that align with your interests. Secreto número 2. Da miedo. A veces, ¿no? Da
Sí.
miedo.
Bueno, para algunas personas puede ser un gran reto
A
atreverse.
big challenge, un gran reto, sí. ¿Qué es? Venga.
¡Atrévete!
¿Qué es?
Get an intercambio.
Busca un intercambio, sí. A ver, en el chat, ¿quién tiene un intercambio aquí? ¿O quién ha tenido, quién tiene algo que compartir? ¿Dónde está tu intercambio? Cuéntanos. A language exchange that maybe you talk to in person or over Skype or something like that, or exchange messages with. Let's see, in the chat, who has got an intercambio or has something to say about having an intercambio? Yo sí, dice Alison. Muy bien. Alison, where are they from? Tengo un intercambio, says Stephanie, que vive en Madrid. Hablamos cada semana. Muy bien. I want to start, but don't know how. Linda will answer you that in 1 second. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? This is a trickier question, this one.
Sí.
Yeah.
Mi
En mi pueblo y ahora somos amigos. Muy bien. Yeah, been yakking for years with a pal from Montevideo, says
muy
Gary.
bien.
Muy bien. I
2
think
años.
people who come in late see this from the beginning. So sometimes we see in the chat answers from earlier questions, like dos años,
Sí.
¿no? From William. A ver, a mí me gusta también MOOC en un curso de intercambio gratuito de Barcelona, says Helen. Okay. Graham, hablé con hablantes nativos en WhatsApp.
Muy
Great.
bien.
Lisa, tenía un intercambio con una compañera de Pilates
Muy
y me
bien.
ayudó mucho. Mis compañeras de trabajo.
Fantástico.
Says Susan, Penelope. Okay, so question number 2. Okay, I think Penelope might be referring back to one of the questions from before. The question right now is if you've got an intercambio or if you've had one, if you want one.
Necesito
Mandy
uno.
says I don't need one. No necesito uno, tengo mi
vale.
limpiadora. Muy bien.
Vale.
Es verdad. Busco intercambio también. I want to start, but worried about it.
¿Ves? Esta es la...
But we've got some good examples
Sí.
coming up. Okay, right. Chris says, usé Conversation Exchange. Mis dos intercambios viven en Sevilla y un pueblo que se llama Escalante entre Santander y Bilbao. Me encanta. Okay, so conversationexchange.com is a great one.
Sí, hay
There's
My Language
Or
Exchange,
mylanguageexchange.com.
pero seguro que hay otras webs.
And
Esas
there will be
dos,
more. Those are the two that we've heard people give good experiences with. mylanguageexchange.com and conversationexchange.com.
mira Tim, que espabilado en el buen sentido.
Tim, ¿qué dice?
Tengo 3 intercambios, Juan en Benalmádena, Mons en Madrid y Rosa en Alicante. Es una gran manera de mejorar tu nivel, pero es importante corregirse mutuamente.
So Tim says, yeah, he's got 3. One in Barcelona, one in Madrid, and one in Alicante. It's a great way to get better, but it's important to correct each other and to have that agreement. Absolutely agree that we love mistakes, as you know, making mistakes, but if your intercambio is going to correct you, maybe not everything, but maybe you could say, look, every other mistake or every few minutes correct something. It's wonderful. Okay. Intercambio.
Amigos de México que también viven en mi ciudad.
Sí.
Necesito una media naranja, nos dice.
Española.
Sí,
Dice
puedes
Greendale.
ayudarme.
Well, no, we haven't got notes in Spanish dating going
Todavía
yet,
no,
but I think
no.
I think we maybe ought to look into that.
Sí, os las escribimos las referencias. Alguien las ha escrito más arriba, pero...
See, maybe someone, because if I start typing, we'll lose the thread. If somebody could kindly write mylanguageexchange.com and conversationexchange.com in the chat, that would be fantastic.
O alguna otra fuente que hayáis usado vosotros.
Any other source that you've used to find an intercambio. If you could put that in the chat. Great question from Linda. Should they be the same level? The answer is it helps a lot, because otherwise, I'm going to switch to English for a minute. What tends to happen is that if you're intermediate and the other person is super advanced, you end up speaking more in the language of the super advanced person. It just seems to happen like that, no? Or if you've got a high intermediate and the other person's a beginner, you tend to speak the language of the higher level because what you want is communication, no? So if that's the case, your levels are very different. You have to really insist. Half an hour one language, half an hour the other language.
It doesn't necessarily need to be exactly the same level, but a similar level works fine.
It works very well, yeah. As
Yeah.
similar as possible. And if not, real insistence in media hora. Okay, so it's not essential. It helps. And if not, insist on equal, okay? So conversation exchange, my language exchange. Stephanie, thank you for writing those. If you Google those, you will get the link. And it's .com for both of them. Okay.
Mira, Fernández dice, estuve de vacaciones en Santa Pola, que es en el Mediterráneo, y dice, fui a la biblioteca para poner una nota preguntando si una persona podría hacer intercambio. Encontré 3 personas y estoy todavía en contacto. Bueno, fantástico.
So Fernanda went to the local library when she was on holiday in Santa Pola, put a note up in the local library and found 3 intercambios. This is fantastic.
Mira, Sharon nos pregunta, how can we correct each other if we are the same level?
Well, I tell you, una cosa que se puede hacer es hablar sin parar a corregir, pero cada uno anota en un papel de vez en cuando un error. Y al final del media hora en inglés, por ejemplo, dices, mira, te voy a decir 3 cosas que he escuchado que se dice de otra manera, ¿no?
Y nunca daríamos muchos errores, entre 3 y 5 errores máximo.
So one way of doing it is just speak, but maybe you note down the odd error, not too much, because the other person will think, why are they writing non-stop? You know, maybe just every now and again say, look, I'll for the half an hour we're going to speak in Spanish, I want you to write down 3 things I say wrong. Because you can't learn more than, I mean, you can, but 3 is enough per session. No?
Yeah,
you get
3
to 5 corrections per
Sí,
session. And hang on, and then at the end of the half an hour in that language, they say, okay, here are 3 to 5 things that I noticed that you said, which we say a bit differently in Spanish. And then you do the same for them in English. And that can work quite well because then you're not constantly interrupted to speak. But the question was, if we're the same level, how can we correct each other? Because if you're English, you're listening to them, a Spanish person speak English, you're going to notice when they make mistakes. And even if you're both very high level, you know, I make mistakes still after 25 years and mostly bilingual. So it can happen.
Mira, nos preguntan, ¿sería mejor hacer un intercambio en persona u online?
Is it better to do an intercambio in person or online, Marina?
A ver, si puede ser en persona, a mí me parece un regalo, porque en persona tienes algo más emocional, pero online, fantástico. O sea, si para ti es una posibilidad hacerlo en persona, para todo el mundo no es posible, porque a lo mejor no tiene una persona hispanohablante en su ciudad.
Yeah. Okay. Look, I want to vamos a leer en español 3 experiencias, ¿no? The other day, 3 people left us comments about this on the blog, and they're fantastic. So we're gonna read those quickly. See?
Sí.
And then we'll get back to have another look at the chat. But these are, I mean, everyone right here right now is what we call a real Spanish superstar. Just showing up here and joining in and watching this. You're real Spanish superstars. We've got some real Spanish superstar comments here that we wanted to read.
Sí.
So, ¿quieres empezar con
Richard?
Richard says.
Nos dice, sobre la cuestión de los intercambios, estoy de acuerdo contigo. Tengo 3, Domin en Madrid y 2 rosarios, una madrileña y una que vive en Uruguay. En pocos meses nos convertimos en amigos. Siempre nos reímos mucho y al final de las llamadas con Rosario en Montevideo nos lanzamos besos al otro lado del Atlántico. Esto me ha encantado. La primera llamada me dio mucho miedo, pero hoy en día las llamadas son lo más importante de mi semana. Si alguien está temblando, esto es normal, ¿no? Tener un poquito de miedo. No te preocupes, a por ello. Si es un desastre, siempre se puede apagar el ordenador y correr al bosque.
Okay,
Me
so
encanta.
I'll translate quickly. I'm sure you all got it. But he's talking about intercambios. I agree with you. I've got 3. Domin in Madrid, 2 Rosarios. 1 Rosario is a Madrileña, the other's from Uruguay. And in a few months, we've become friends. We always laugh a lot. At the end of the calls with Rosario in Montevideo on Skype, we send each other kisses across the Atlantic. The first call terrified me. But today, hoy en día, these days, the calls are the most important thing in my week. Si alguien está temblando, if anyone's shaking with fear at the idea, don't worry. A por ello, go for it. If it's a disaster, si es un desastre, you can always turn off the computer y correr al bosque and run into the forest. I love that. So Richard here pointing out, it can be terrifying, but look, he's having a laugh. He's sending kisses across the Atlantic. They've turned into friends.
And he's running to the woods as well.
No, he's not running to the woods because he loves
No,
it. He loves it.
joke. Mira, tenemos a Steve que fue a la Castela el otro día, a la taberna La Castela,
Muy
en
bien,
Madrid.
Steve. Yeah, La
y dice
Castela.
que le encantó la recomendación.
Muy bien, muy bien. Pues sí, La Castela is a great restaurant in Madrid, near the Retiro, if anyone is ever in Madrid. Okay, let's read Miranda. Marina.
Sí. Hola, Benin Marina. Muchísimas gracias por todos sus vídeos, consejos útiles y alientos. Gracias a los dos, finalmente encontré un compañero de conversación usando Conversation Exchange. Hablamos durante 1 hora por Skype casi todas las semanas. 30 minutos en español y 30 en inglés. Es tan gratificante. El mes pasado mi marido y yo recorrimos España en bicicleta y coche y nos reunimos con mi intercambio y su mujer para almorzar en Logroño. Por supuesto, pasamos mucho tiempo de sobremesa. Creo que tengo mucha suerte y animaría a todos a encontrar un intercambio.
So Miranda says, hi, Ben and Marina, thank you for your videos. Thanks to you two, I finally found an intercambio on conversationexchange.com. We speak for an hour on Skype nearly every week. 30 minutes in English and 30 minutes in Spanish. Fantastic. That's the way it should be. And it's super gratificante. It's wonderful. Last month, my husband and I, we went on a trip around Spain by bicycle and car. And we met my intercambio and his wife to have lunch in Logroño. We had a lovely long sobremesa, a lovely time after lunch sitting at the table chatting. And I think I'm really lucky and I would encourage everyone else to get an intercambio. So we hear this a lot. People start off chatting with their intercambio online and they end up coming to Spain or to wherever they are, Uruguay, meeting them and, lifelong friends.
And I admire some of these people that share that have even 3 intercambios. That's
3. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Amazing. So let's Stephanie. Dale asked, what's the best way to do this online, Zoom or Skype? And Stephanie answers, Skype is better because you can see the chats even when the call has ended. So if you're kind of sending words over to each other or links via Skype, then it's still there afterwards. So I would say that most people seem to use Skype from what I've heard, but it could be anything, whatever works. I think this is mutuo acuerdo, no? Mm-hmm. A joint decision between the two.
Even some people have shared with us that they use WhatsApp. WhatsApp messages, and they change a few messages every day, and that keeps their Spanish present in their lives.
Yeah. Okay, the third secret is another simple one, but I think we're going to move on to the next secret because we've got time is moving on. But thank you so much, everyone, for sharing the intercambio idea. And oye, animamos un montón a la gente a probarlo, ¿no?
Siempre, sí.
Yeah,
os animamos ahora y creemos que es una manera fantástica y para nosotros funcionó muy bien.
It worked very well for us, yes. We started out as
idioma.
We started out as intercambios and look where we are now. So it works, it's great. Okay, secret number 3 is hacer
preguntas.
Hacer preguntas, Nunca te quedas con la duda.
Nunca te quedes.
¿Ves? Mi intercambio me sigue corrigiendo.
Te voy a poner aquí la notita.
Do you know what? As soon as I said it, I knew I should have said, nunca te quedes con la duda. Make mistakes, and eventually your internal correction, the autocorrect, starts going, oh, I knew I got that wrong. The subjunctive there. Nunca te quedes con la duda. Never get stuck with a doubt in Spanish. Find somewhere to ask the question. So I don't know how to improve my listening. I don't know what this word means. I don't know this or like that. It's so important. When I first, en español, cuando yo llegué a Madrid, en el primer día, el primer mes, conocí a un amigo, que todavía es un amigo, que se llama Alistair. Y el español de Alistair era bastante mejor que mi español en mis primeros meses en España, ¿no?
Sí.
Bueno, o
Quiero
durante
decir que
tiempo.
él hablaba y tú no hablabas casi
Yo no
nada.
hablaba nada y él hablaba de manera fluida, porque llevaba ya 3 años o 2 años en España. Y me ayudó tanto. Le hice pregunta tras pregunta, tras pregunta, tras pregunta, tras pregunta, y me ayudó un montón. So my friend Alistair, when I first got here, when I didn't speak any Spanish, he was already quite fluent, and I just asked him questions all day long. Probably drove him mad, but it helped so much. And then I transferred my question asking onto Marina and drove her mad instead. Okay.
Un poco. Porque Ben era muy insistente. No tanto las preguntas, fíjate.
Cuidado.
No las preguntas, pero luego, en cuanto le explicaba algo que había oído en el metro, venía, he oído en el metro que le ha dicho una chica
¿Qué
a su
significa?
madre no sé
¿Qué
qué
significa?
significa. Y yo se lo explicaba. Y luego, durante una semana, venga a usar la misma frase.
Sí, eso es. Entonces, sí, find somewhere to ask questions, right?
Pero es fantástico, funciona. Tengo que decir que funciona.
Yeah. So, I mean, that could be your intercambio. Get an intercambio. You've got someone to ask questions with all day long. A community. If you are one of our wonderful Inner Circle members, ask all the questions you want in there. We still don't get enough questions. We want more, because when you ask a good question, and we've got some space for questions coming up, it doesn't just benefit you, it benefits every other Spanish learner listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think questions are the best things ever. So it's another easy, simple secret, but it can change your Spanish trayectoria, ¿cómo se dice? Trajectory.
Your journey,
your journey,
tu camino.
massively. Yeah. So I tell you what, let's open up the chat to questions. Okay. So questions. I don't think we'll tackle grammar here and now, because grammar often can get quite complicated. Okay. So, but if you've got a question about, I'm stuck at a certain level, or how can I improve my listening? How can I improve my challenges with your Spanish, retos, or I don't know what this word means, I don't know what that phrase means, or something like that. Stick them in the chat. Thank you, Penelope, who says, thank you, gracias, Benny Marina, por esta conversación. Gracias a vosotros.
Y tenemos a Anne, que nos dice que tiene 3 nietos adolescentes bilingües. Su madre es española y viven en Inglaterra. Bueno,
qué bien, Anne.
Eso tienes ahí unos intercambios buenísimos.
Venga, who's got a question? Don't be shy, because as I say, a good question helps so many people. Okay, great question from British Bolt. How do you know when you've advanced or need to advance from beginner level to intermediate? And how would you advise doing so? This is a clever 2 questions in one, but that's fine. Okay, so I guess the first question is, how would you go from beginner to advanced? I think the first answer is everything that we've said here. Find ways to enjoy Spanish. Fill your life with Spanish. Llenar la vida de español, ¿no? Hacer tiempo todos los días para el español. Un rato todos los días, que sea 10 minutos.
Puedes escuchar nuestros Inspired Beginner podcast.
Listen to our Inspired Beginners podcast. And so you do this. You learn, you enjoy, you absorb. And then how do you know when you're ready to jump up to intermediate?
Pues, por ejemplo, puedes probar de vez en cuando a escuchar un podcast nuestro intermedio y ver si entiendes un tanto por ciento. No hace falta que lo entiendas todo, pero que entiendas un poco y que haya un poco de reto.
Yeah, so every now and again, and this is the same if you're beginner, wondering if you're ready for intermediate, or intermediate, wondering if you're ready for advanced, every now and again, listen to the next level up. So it doesn't matter if you've only got to podcast number 12 of Inspired Beginners, or you've only done 15 intermediate podcasts. Go every now and again, listen to the next level. And if you go, oh my goodness, I can understand this, then jump up. Absolutely. Don't hold yourself back because you think, I've only done 5 pages of my grammar book. It's a bit easy, but I ought to do the whole thing. Para nada. Avanzar.
También, ante la duda, o si quieres acelerar un poco ese proceso, tenemos un producto específico para hacer esa transición que se llama Real Spanish Control y que está dentro de nuestra whole enchilada.
Yeah, inside the whole enchilada pack, there's Real Spanish Control, which is all about getting from
beginner to intermediate,
from making that jump. But really, it's about enjoying it and every now and again testing the next level up to see how you feel. Okay, next question. I've been studying for 7 It says 7 Arial.
Several.
Several. 7 Arial, several years, and was placed in C1 in an immersion course. That's great. That's very high. But when native Spanish speakers talk super fast, I do not understand a word. Is this normal? It's frustrating. Mark.
This is very normal.
Totally normal. There are 4 key skills in learning a language: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And it is incredibly rare that the 4 skills develop at exactly the same speed or at the same level. We hear from lots of people saying, I can read really well in Spanish.
I can write well.
I can write well, but I can't speak. No? Entonces, what do we do about this? So Mark specifically says...
Understanding fast speakers.
Understanding, hang on, talk super fast, I don't understand a word. Okay, so C1 is a very high level, but when people speak really fast, you have trouble. Everybody has trouble with that. Okay, that's totally normal. First of all,
that's one step of the way.
It is frustrating. What do you do about it? Well, first of all, you could go back and listen to our second real Spanish fluency workshop, which you'll find in notesinspanish.com. Scroll to the bottom, look at videos. We talk specifically about listening techniques. But the answer is practice, 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 practice. As much listening as you possibly can. And if it's with real people, even better. Put yourself out there. Put yourself in that situation. Make listening your focus. No?
With real people, but I think to develop confidence, listen to some kind of audio, either our podcast or a film or the radio, like a few minutes every day, 10 or 15 minutes every day, in the car or in the bus or while doing some cooking at home. Make it like regular in your life by yourself, and then if possible with people, because that's the real challenge.
Yeah. So basically, we had someone else recently who said that what they did was put the radio in Spanish on in the background, and their brain just got used to listening to Spanish more, and bit by bit the words started to come apart and make sense, which is another great idea. So it's really when you notice that any one of your skills is lower, it could be speaking, it could be reading, it could be writing, put the focus on that for a while.
If you need to, because some people don't want to write or don't need to write at all.
But I want to go to the end result, Mark, because this is important, okay? It's happened to me. This happened when I used to go to dinner parties with Marina's friends, and I would sit there in a state of frustrated sort of semi-depression because it was a million miles an hour. I couldn't understand
my friends thought that Ben didn't speak.
They thought I was just the shyest person on planet Earth, didn't speak or anything like that. But mostly it was the understanding problem. One day, sometime down the line, I can't say how long because it varies for everyone, there was a moment when I realized that the Spanish was flowing in with no translation process, nothing. It was like bilingual listening, and it was extraordinary. And that will happen. It won't happen if you think this is frustrating, I'm giving up, obviously. But if you stick with it, look for lots of sources of listening, put it on whenever you can, fill your life with Spanish, not to the point of going crazy with it, then one day you get a click, you go, bump, and you jump up a level. So stick with it, and I hope that's helped. Okay.
Lou says, yes.
Léelo.
Necesito hablar español, pues voy a presentarme al DLC 1. En mi ciudad no hay hablantes de español. Estoy en apuros. ¿Qué hago?
Okay, so I need to speak Spanish because I'm going to present myself to the C1 exams in my city. There are no Spanish speakers. Estoy en apuros, meaning I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm stuck, I'm in a mess. What can I do?
Get an intercambio.
Get an intercambio. Get 3 intercambios. As you've seen, it's totally possible. It's hugely rewarding, and the effects are enormous. So,
it's a great experience.
Get some, yeah. Okay. Diane says, could other speakers who've purchased the $200 package, I guess that's the whole enchilada, tell us more about if anyone's enjoyed the whole enchilada. But Diane, if you look on the page of the whole enchilada, there's lots of reviews there. There's some video reviews, so you can have a look at that. I hope that helps a lot. Lisa, I love this question. I feel like I've hit a plateau at upper intermediate. It's very frustrating. Yes. Intermediate, upper intermediate is the level of plateaus. But any learning process works like that. If you're learning to paint, if you're learning to I don't know, think of something that you learn. My mind has gone blank.
Guitar.
Me he quedado en blanco. The guitar.
Te has ido a las batuecas.
It goes up, along, along, along. Oh my God, I'm frustrated. And then one day up, the frustration is a sign that a breakthrough is coming. You've just got to stick with it and go back to secreto número uno, disfrútalo. Go and watch telly in Spanish for 3 weeks. Go and talk to an intercambio for 3 weeks or something like that. Do something different. Change it up. Change what you're doing. Cambia algo. Y si tú conectas de nuevo con tu motivación para aprender español, connect with your original motivation again, y go for it, a por ello, you will find that you get off that plateau. No te rindas, ¿no? ¿Quieres añadir algo?
No, more or less, I think you've
You'll get off it. You'll get off it. Go and start, if you're thinking upper intermediate, go and listen to our advanced podcasts, get an intercambio. As I say, try different things. You will get off the plateau. And the more time you manage to make for enjoyable Spanish every day, the sooner that will happen. Okay, well, hang on a minute. We've got to go back a second. A good question, Diane. Hang on. Where have we got to?
Aquí, a ver, ¿cómo puedo entender el acento andaluz?
¿Cómo puedo entender el precio andaluz? How can
I understand el acento andaluz.
Yeah. How can I, hang on a minute, how can you understand the Andaluz accent? I go there every year. We had a question about this yesterday
in our
Inner
Q&A,
Circle Zoom. If you're in the Inner Circle, you can go and watch the Q&A because we spent a long time talking about this. And I would say, to resume quickly, a great suggestion we came up with was to watch Andaluz telly. There's lots of, hay un canal andaluz or canal de Andalucía. I can't remember what it's called, but if you Google it, you'll find it. And watch Andaluz television. Listen to Andalusian radio again and again and again until you tune in to the Andaluz accent. Definitely works.
Vale. Alguien nos pregunta por una radio station.
Sharon, can you recommend a good Spanish radio station?
¿Cuál te gusta a ti, Ben? A ti te gusta Radio 3, ¿no?
Okay, yeah, but I like Radio 3 because there's no news. I don't want to, if I'm in the car driving somewhere, I don't want to get depressed. Spanish news can be so over melodramatic as well. So Radio 3 me gusta, es solo música, ¿no? Y hablan, claro. Radio 3, yo creo que ahora a las 8 de la mañana hay un señor que habla tan rápido que no te lo puedes creer. No me acuerdo de su nombre ahora, pero disfruto intentando entender y le entiendo ahora, pero es... Radio 3 me gusta.
A mí me gusta La Ventana en Cadena SER.
Cadena SER is the radio station program called La Ventana, The Window.
They have a podcast, you can...
Yeah, you can listen to the podcast there. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's see. Questions? Anna's saying here, hoy en día practico de manera informal, escuchando, hablando, así que me cuesta recordar las correcciones y hago los mismos errores una y otra vez. ¿Me ayudaría estudiar para el DELI, por ejemplo? So Anna's saying that she's practicing listening and talking in Spanish, and she would like to remember, it's hard to remember corrections or after making mistakes, it's hard to remember the right version. And she's making the same mistakes over and over again. Would it help me to study for a DELI exam? So DELI exams are the official exams of the Instituto Cervantes.
Yes.
No? And these exams are exactly what I was talking about before. They're reading, writing, listening and speaking, no? And grammar. So all of the skills. And for me, I've done them twice in my life. A long time ago, I did, first of all, a DELI Básico. Now it's A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. When I did it, it was called Básico Intermedio Superior, which was more or less A2 was the Básico. And then I did the Superior, which was C2 after about 5 years here. It was a brilliant way to do what you're talking about, Anna, for me, because I thought, look, I'm paying at the time a few €100 or more for classes and to register for the exam and do the exam. I thought, first of all, if I'm going to do it, I want to do it well. Secondly, I want to make sure I'm not wasting my money. So it immediately brought all of my skills up to a high level, particularly the grammar and particularly the subjunctives at the C2 level. So
knowing, in this case, knowing Anna, because she's a member of our inner circle and she participates a lot and she's a very, very dedicated student, I think doing that exam can be a great asset for you. But otherwise, if you don't want to take the exam, I would suggest that you work on those mistakes that you realize you are doing once and again. and
Yeah.
jot them down, practice them, autocorrect yourself.
Just keep writing them down. If you don't want to do an exam, if you do, I actually enjoyed it because I like a good challenge, and I thought
they are a great challenge.
They're a great challenge, but we don't all want to, or it's not often the right time of our life to do an exam. So that at that point I had no kids and had more time for things like that. So for me it was great. I enjoyed it. It brought all my skills up to the same level. But Anna, you could just write down those pesky mistakes and just keep looking at them until they're internalized. So I hope that helps. Alison says, when watching something on Netflix, for example, I have to use subtitles, but this means I don't concentrate on the listening so much as I'm concentrating on reading. I think we've had a question about this again recently in an Inner Circle Zoom. I'm a high level, I'm still using subtitles. Is that okay? It's completely fine.
You are still, the ear is practicing, and you are, if you put your subtitles in Spanish, then that you are practicing too.
Yeah, I know it's frustrating when I've been to see films with subtitles. It's annoying because you don't want to be reading, you want to be listening or watching what's on the screen. You can't always see what's the action that's happening because you're busy reading. It can be frustrating, but it's a brilliant way to fill your life with more culture and more Spanish. When's the time to turn off the subtitles? It's the same with how do I jump up a level. Every now and again, you turn them off for a bit and see how you go.
And it depends also on the film, because sometimes I have to still use English subtitles. Otherwise, I don't get the gist of the film. And sometimes I don't need them, and I just miss a few slang words here and there, but I get the overall story, no problem. So it's a question of assessing.
Yeah, assessing when it's right for you to turn them on and off. But yeah, subtitles are a fact of life in language learning, and a really good fact of life, I think. So, don't beat yourself up about it. Just use them when you need them and try turning them off every now and again. Mark says, have you ever considered doing an immersion course in Madrid? I'd go. A la Madrid. We haven't considered that, but we'll consider it. We'll stick it on the list. Okay. Well, Judy said I'd go too. There we go. We've got 2 clients. Venga, a por ello. Okay. Penelope says, for English speakers, verb I think we're going to have time for, 3 more questions because we have a family-based time limit.
Yes.
That our son is
babysitting
our much younger daughter upstairs, and after about an hour, probably all hell will break loose. So I think, we do have a limit. So Penelope, for English speakers, verb conjugations are really, really difficult to get. I'm wondering if you have just a class just on verbs. I don't think we have one, but we will put it on the list. I think there are books which help with
this. This is a question of, again, practice, do a lot of exercises, because it's difficult. It's not something that you can master in one class.
Yeah. Okay. Hola amigos, según mi experiencia, la escucha es clave. Hay que escuchar mucho el idioma. No sé, por ejemplo, ver películas, podcasts, noticias, viajes. MK says, according to what he's heard, listening is crucial, but he doesn't know whether to see films, listen to podcasts, watch the news, whatever you enjoy. No, that's the answer. Watch lots of films, watch lots of series on Netflix, ones that you enjoy, podcasts that you like. Absolutely. Listen to as much as you can in the car. A phrase I heard the first time the other day, la Universidad del Tráfico, the University of Traffic.
Yeah.
If you're stuck in a traffic jam or you have a commute, it's a brilliant time to go into the University of Traffic and do some learning, learn some Spanish. Okay.
We have a wonderful comment from Elizabeth Watson, who is a member of our Inner Circle, and says, join Inner Circle, it meets all 3 points. Fun, most like having an intercambio without having one. A por ello.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Yes, there we go. Absolutely. Join the Inner Circle. We completely agree, because it's lots more of this. So we shall talk about that in a minute. Okay, let's see.
Someone wanted to write the name of the radio station.
Yeah, someone said write the name of the radio station in the chat. So we'll put that now. The program is called La Ventana, and it is in
Cadena Ser.
Cadena Ser. Vale? That is the radio program. Sorry for the typing noise, if you can hear that. Okay, so Kate Bull says, don't get overwhelmed with all the great suggestions here. Do what works for you as much as works for you to keep it enjoyable. Absolutely brilliant advice. Thank you, Kate. Okay, my friends, let's see. I sometimes have to use subtitles, says Senjo, for English films or TV programs anyway, because they are mumbling or talking too quietly. Exactly. Yes, sometimes in our own language, they're useful. Absolutely. If I watch an Argentinian film in Spanish, I'll probably put subtitles on because sometimes you can't get it. And I've been listening to Spanish for 25 years non-stop. So yeah, fantastic. Okay.
Alguien dice que usa una app para los verbos. Si quiere compartir el nombre por aquí.
Lisa Sloan, the verb app. I have a good verb app. Lisa, yes, please
share
the name of the verb app here. Yeah. Okay. So what have we got? It's 9 o'clock here in Spain. All right. Well, my goodness me, our first YouTube live, and I haven't enjoyed myself so much in a long, long time. So thank you, everyone. Right, I think we've got a few more minutes left, and then we'll say goodbye to everyone. Just very quickly, remember the inner circle. We've got a couple of members here. It's open for about 28 more hours until Thursday at midnight Pacific time. Do come and join, because this is exactly what we're doing in the inner circle. It's about enjoying Spanish. It's the place to ask questions so you never get stuck. All these questions we've had today, that's what we're doing for our members, answering them, getting over their hurdles, getting over their doubts. We've got videos that we only have in the inner circle, nowhere else, which are a bit like our podcast. They're kind of deep dive videos on new topics every month. We have Zoom calls like this, but where you actually get to talk to us instead of just in the chat, so we can actually have a conversation in Spanish. We've got someone in there, Ariadna, an amazing professional Spanish teacher who, along with Marina, corrects people if they ask for it in everything that people are writing. We've got monthly themes and competitions, and the most amazingly friendly community you can ever imagine, who come up with these amazing suggestions all day long. So if you're interested in the real Spanish Inner Circle, we would love it if you join. I don't know if you can see it, there's a link underneath here, which will take you to the page for that. Otherwise, if you go to notesinspanish.com, there's a banner across the top, or on the store page. You can also join up via there. We would love to welcome you in there to keep having these chats, keep answering these questions, and keep you on the road to amazing Spanish fluency. Bueno, ya está, ¿no?
Sí, ha sido muy bonito, ¿no?
Ha sido absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, if anyone's got questions about the inner circle, by the way, you can send us an email to hola@notesinspanish.com and we can answer you there as well. hola@notesinspanish.com.
Muchas gracias a todos que estáis mandando mensajes muy bonitos de despedidas y de agradecimiento.
Yeah, we're watching the
hearts come in.
The hearts come in. And muchas gracias, Penny Marina. Muchas gracias a vosotros.
A vosotros, ¿no? Por venir.
La primera vez, increíble.
Estamos, increíble. Flipados.
Así
en colores.
Flipando en colores. Así que nada, que sois los mejores, Cesar Cookies. Thank you so much. Muchas gracias. Keep sending hearts. It's making us very happy. I don't even know how you send hearts on there. So thank you. We'll be back again soon. Hope to see lots of you in the inner circle. And hasta luego.
Hasta luego. Adiós a todos.